Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. We thought we would bring you along for some morning chores. We hadn't done that in a while, have we? I told Lisa, I said, we do everything on this channel. It's a whole bunch of stuff, not just one thing, and we kind of just want to get back to the basics of homesteading here for the next few days. Not that everything isn't the basics, you know, from running equipment to splitting firewood to gardening, but right now it's gardening season, and it's growing critters season. So we're going season. So we're going to show off some of the critters this morning. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods. Hit that old like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, as always, guys, we appreciate you. We're going to start off with these Ranger meat chickens. Into the feed room.
And this is we use it for our meat birds and all of our chickens, our layers and everything. It's a 22% protein, Neutrina, and we really like it. We've used it for, goodness, many years now. And along with their feed for the meat chickens, we give them a few handfuls of the poultry grit at each feeding.
Y'all, for the most part, there's not enough different types of grit on the ground for these chickens to get, because they need that grit inside of their crawl to help grind that already fine crumble feed up. It just helps them to get all the nutrient out of that feed that they can. A cheaper way to do it, and I think we're going to do it this way next year, is I'm just going to go to the rock quarry and get a load of screenings. A lot of rock dust and fine shavings. Same stuff that's in that bag right there. And I can buy a ton of it for 30 bucks versus $5 or $10 for a 10-pound bag. So as much as we'll use it over the years, and it kind of makes sense to just get that much. Y'all, it's twice a day that we feed these Rangers, and they're consuming, we hadn't weighed it, but 50 birds. They're consuming 2 of these peck buckets in 24 hours for the most part, and they'll eat more as they get bigger. They've eaten it down. They're eating more. Guys, they're going to eat more and more the bigger they get. They are 5 weeks old today. And they are right where they should be for 5 weeks. They will really start growing rapidly from here into a butcher in about 3.5 more weeks. So it comes up on you quick. A lot of things to do to get ready for that. And they'll drink 2 of these waterers down in 24 hours. It won't be long before we have to probably fill them up twice a day. They just drink a lot and they eat a lot. And that grit really does help. But notice how clean this floor is in here. It is not bad at all. I come in here every day or two and put down just a thin layer of shavings. It'll probably be ready for a few more this evening. And when I say thin, I mean thin. Looks like it's just had a dust and a snow over it when I get done. And they saw it, and in a day or two, put another one down. So we're building a layer here that is clean, dirty on the inside, but clean on top. So it keeps these birds dry. It's nice and dry in here. And it keeps the flies down. And what flies there are, y'all, they're quick about snatching those things up. But they look great, y'all. They look absolutely fantastic. I hadn't hit my head in a while. That's bound to change though when we go to catching chickens. But y'all, 5 weeks in, they're looking fantastic. We used to actually pick them up when we first started 5 years ago, 6 years, something like that. And we'd weigh them along to see how much weight they were putting on, but we don't do that anymore. We know how much where they should be at now and where they should be at in 8.5 weeks. And if at 8.5 weeks we don't feel like they're quite ready, we'll go to 9 weeks. But really, 8.5 weeks seems to be the sweet spot on these Rangers.
Showing off whiskers.
All right, the chickens are taken care of. The only thing that we have to take care of with chickens in the morning are the Rangers, the meat birds, because they require feeding morning and evening, checking on the water, checking on bedding. Everybody else is doing fine up here. They get an evening ration and evening watering and all that good stuff. But I had to show off Whiskers, the cat. She is getting more and more friendly and getting closer to us. It's been probably 8 months since she's been here. We still can't pet her, but she's getting close. But she's catching mice, y'all, and that's exactly what we want her to do. We're gonna get on down to the pigs and check in on them, get them fed. Y'all, while we're getting down here to the pigs, I want to show off Lisa's new hat. Check that out. That was what, $7?
Yeah. It
was cheap, y'all. We're not sponsored by anybody, y'all know that. But we go through hats like nobody's business just because of sweating and getting nasty and working. And I got me this new hat, had me a coupon, and told Lisa, I said, I'm only gonna wear that thing when we do videos. Maybe I can keep it clean.
You keep picking hats with white on them, so.
I like white. I can't help it, y'all. I like my white Chevrolet pickup truck, and I like white and blue. I like it. But anyway, so we'll get down here to the pigs and see how rowdy they are this morning.
Hunter, are you hungry? She's waiting for me to get in there and scratch her ears, so. What?
Well, today, June the 15th, was Buttercup's due date. We were hoping that by some miracle, even though she had aborted that one pig, she would still have pigs in her, but I think we're just hopeful, but I think we knew it wasn't going to happen. So she's going to go on to the butcher block this fall. As soon as it gets cold, she'll be going into processing and into the freezer. Be just fine, y'all. She's just at a year old. She's going to make for a lot of good meals here on the homestead. Now right here though, she's piggy.
Yeah, her belly's dropping.
Yep, she's looking good too.
One more spider web, girls.
She's looking very good. Her belly is dropping.
Yeah.
Not that Buttercup's not a beautiful pig, because she is, but Dixie here, she's taller. She's got more leg. She's longer. Gonna have more loin. And really, if you're raising hogs, that's what you're looking for.
All right, Rose. What, Mama? What? What? And Rosie, if you're new here, is retired as of this, well, the last litter she had was a year ago. And she has been adopted and lives here. But the other morning when I came to feed, she refused to come up. And
which is not normal.
Which is not normal, because she's the hangry one, always. And she was actually close to the fence, but I noticed that she was gathering up pine needles and roots, and I thought, she's making a nest, but she's not pregnant. And generally the only time they make a nest is for farrowing, or if it's really cold weather, they will make a nest. But she's got a nice nest back over there. So I don't know what her logic was. Maybe it's she's making a nest for Dixie's babies, or she's just hoping that she's gonna miraculously have some. But she was a good mama, so.
Y'all, it's hard to know what's going on in the mind of a pig. No clue why she was out here building a nest the other morning.
But she never would come up to eat her breakfast.
No, it was crazy. I came down here, Lisa's like, you got to see this. She's carrying limbs and breaking off green saplings, and it's building a nice nest back over there, further back in the woods, and it's just odd. Maybe she just senses the pregnancy on Dixie. I couldn't tell you. But it's pretty cool. I told Lisa, I said, pretty sure we're not going to have a virgin birth here, or a miraculous conception. That's the way I should say it. With the pigs. It just doesn't happen that way unless some feral hog got up to the fence. But I don't think he could handle the about 9 joules that are pumping through that high tensile steel. So that'd be a bad day.
And in the morning chores, I always include me coming down and just doing, I always do a quick check of everything in the garden and determine what needs to be done. So then I go back and get whatever tools I need to get back down here and do the work for the morning.
Before it gets blazing hot.
Before it gets blazing hot, yeah.
It's going to come.
Yeah. But I think the rabbit has left this section alone, but we do need, oh, you got the decoy up. Good. Since it fell. And since last night when I was down here, the October beans are starting to bloom. Really.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Seeing as how 20 feet of them are gone.
Yeah.
Thanks to the rabbit.
Well, yeah, thanks to the rabbit. But the good thing with October beans is we will do a second planting of them in July. So
yeah,
hopefully won't get any of those. But it looks like they're going to do really good. And the Dixie butter peas, they're not far from blooming. And you'll see they have some runners, but they are not I guess they would be what considered a semi-runner, because they're not going to run and take over the whole garden. And the same thing with the Fort Hook limas. They're getting ready to bloom too. But these are really, can't wait to see how these do, because they're really big and full, yeah.
Y'all, this first planting a yellow squash that Lisa did is really coming on. You can see one down in here. We've been picking these almost daily, every other day, and we've been eating a lot of squash. We love them fresh. Last night we had them sauteed, and we've already had them fried a few times. Really, really good. Sliced thin, fried up nice and crispy. And she's got a whole bunch of squash planted through here, y'all. We've got succession plantings already going on. And when this 25, 30 feet of squash plays out right here, new ones will get put right back in its place.
And you can see these are the max pack, all but I think 6 on this end are the max pack that I transplanted. And they are slow. We just had crazy weather, so all the hot crops that really like that hot weather are just taking forever, because those all the way down through there have been direct seeded and they're just slow growing. But we did get a few max packs last night to go with supper, so
I thought they were pretty tasty.
they were very good. One of the characteristics of the max pack is they're not supposed to be very bitter, and they had no bitterness to them whatsoever. We didn't do fantastic with them last year.
They're already doing better than they did last year.
Yeah, they're doing better than they did last year, because I honestly was not going to attempt them again, but I had so many seeds that I said we'll give them one more shot. So, and these are not your good ladybug, so I'm going to, Matthew will move the camera so I can kill it.
And what do you call that one?
Those are the Mexican bean beetles. They love, some people call them Asian beetles, but there is a difference with the spotting, the number of spots. But they love cucumbers, cantaloupes, and they have just come out. Well, that's the first one of those I've seen, but we did have 2 of the cucumber beetles yesterday, which are, they're much smaller bodied and they're bright yellow with black spots.
If we could just find a way to keep them beetles out of here.
That'd be great.
They're really eating anyway.
Yeah.
Other than spraying. They're just trespassing, ain't they?
They are. Hang on, let's redirect you there. And one of the ways that you can also find those beetles is if you see your leaf starting to look skeletonized, basically. If you'll flip it over, more than likely there will be another one on the back, and there was. So I'm gonna have to get on top of those. There's a honeybee working in the squash bloom. And my dwarf sunflowers are just about ready to open. And there's 2 different varieties here. A Mardi Gras that is kind of a pretty burgundy mixture, and then just a traditional yellow. That these are getting about as tall as they're gonna get. They might get just a smidge taller, but I'm ready to see those open.
Me too, I love flowers. Speaking of flowers, I want you to show them these over here.
I don't know what she's on. And these are all my Binary Giant zinnias.
Zinnias.
Whatever. Zinnias on. It's zinnia. I say zinnia. But this was just a mix of various colors, and they'll continue as long as you deadhead them.
What does that mean?
Just once, you know, like I could cut these and make an arrangement with them now, but I'm just leaving them here for the time being to help bring in the pollinators. And then I'll go through and cut, and you can see they're already
making new runs.
They're already making new ones, and they'll just continue to bush out and bloom all summer long.
Y'all, we're laughing because while we were showing off, I think, the squash, I heard something coming out of a tree, and I'm looking up thinking a black bear or something like that. It was Whiskers. She will follow us everywhere around out here now. She just won't come to us. Craziest thing, I think it's that wet Sheba cat food Lisa's had her on. She keeps begging for that stuff. But anyways, little garden update, little taking you around, showing off the meat birds and the pigs. Trying to do it before it gets hot because heat's coming. We have not had hot here yet, but weatherman, if they're correct, calling for about 95 here in about a week. And y'all, we haven't had a drop of rain to amount to anything now in several weeks. It's getting dry. Fortunately, this bottom ground is holding a lot of moisture.
Still gonna have to water though.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
The upper part that we just did, not as well because it's more on a hill. And just like we had expected, the rabbits pretty much have eaten half of the green beans up there. We expected that, but we haven't seen any new damage in a couple of days, so that's good. And between the lack of water and needing to build that soil, they haven't done that well anyway. So it was a trap crop for the rabbits, so that's fine. It's going to help set some nitrogen in the soil.
Yeah. The
beans that are there. So we'll do a succession planting anyways, guys. We've got a bunch of beans. We'll plant some more. But guys, that's going to wrap it up today. We're working on something kind of big. Big for us. We've said it's a little bit scary for us too. But we're got to get on that. And we'll reveal that hopefully in another week or so once we're completely done.
Or weeks.
Or getting it ready. So if you see some garden update videos and feeding animals and not really sawmilling or starting a new project, because we're working on one behind the scenes, guys, that we're hoping to be pretty cool. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. We'll see you on the next one. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high.